Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite YouTube channel and podcast. Hashtag KTLC Sports Talk with your host, Justin P. This is episode 186 for the YouTube channel for the audio version, season 5, episode 15. You can check that out on Spotify, Apple, Google Google Podcast, Anchor, Spotify, basically anywhere you get your music and podcast stuff from. Just type in hashtag KTLC Sports Talk and they'll list all the available platforms. Today got a special guest, up and coming defensive guru. He's like, a defensive back specialist. So that's everyone is welcome to the show. Bluefield State defensive coordinator, Coach Lawrence Robinson.
Hey man, appreciate you having me on. I don't know about defensive back guru or specialist and none of that kind of stuff. I don't know about all that, but I'll take the compliment though.
Yeah, I gotta give you your flowers, Coach. So you already know we're gonna get to some Q&A. So you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. All right, question 1. What TV show or TV series are you currently binge watching right now?
I'm on Chicago Med. I think that's it. Yeah, Chicago Med. Yeah, yeah, man, it's good. I think I started like last week, and I'm on like season 4, season 5, something like that. So I'm rolling. So yeah, man, I'm all into it. So
okay, just that, nothing else.
No, nothing else right now. When I really get on the show, I'm kind of just focused on that show.
Then you go to the next one. That's how I am.
Yeah. Once I'm in the show, I'm with that show, and then I'll move on to the next one. So right now it's Chicago Med. Our camp starts in 12 days, so I'm probably gonna try to knock through Narcos Mexico again. I've watched it like 3 times, but I'm gonna probably watch that again. Just on my downtime, just on the couch chilling, just watching that.
I got you. Okay, that's definitely a good one though. But all right, question 2. Give me your top 5 favorite movies of all time. This is your favorite. Just your favorite movie.
So Goodfellas is my number 1 movie of all time. I'm definitely a mafia guy, so that's my number 1 movie of all time. Number 2 is really reserved for just one person. That's Denzel. Anything Denzel Washington is in, I'm a fan of. He ain't never disappointed. He ain't never disappointed. So
you're right. That's the GOAT. That's like the Michael Jordan of acting. You're right.
No question. So yeah, anything with him is that's going to be in my number 2. My number 3 movie is Paid in Full. Love that movie. I got it downloaded on my phone. I got the DVD. So anytime I need to watch it, I can watch it. So that's probably my number 3. Friday Night Lights, that's probably my number 4 movie of all time. And then number 5, shoot, I don't know. Number 5, probably the original Ninja Turtles movie. That's my number 1.
That's my favorite growing up as a kid.
Yeah. I got the DVD probably like 5 or 6 years ago, and then stuff that as you get older, it don't really resonate when you like 5, 6 years old or whatever. But now that movie kind of resonates with some stuff. He dudes swinging the bat, and he was like a Jose Canseco bat. He was like, "Tell me you didn't pay for this," like stuff like that is like hilarious.
Casey Jones, my guy.
Yeah, Casey Jones. So yeah, so that's probably my number 5 movie of all time. Yep.
Okay, all right. Question 3. Give me your top 5 music artists that you like. I'll give you R&B, rap, soul, whatever. No matter the particular category.
Yeah, got to be Michael Jackson. That one's a given. I think whatever, all of his stuff was just fire. All of his stuff. So Michael Jackson, old Lil Wayne. When I was actually talking to my sister about it the other day. Like when he was dropping his mixtapes, like his mixtapes was unchallenged. They was better than the mainstream stuff. Dedication 2, like all that stuff was pure fire. Drake, Drake is obviously like, he's the GOAT. He's one of the best.
He definitely, when it's all said and done, he's gonna be in that conversation for sure.
Yeah, he is. And my homeboy Dion, he lives in Chicago, and he listened to Drake's new album, and he was like, "Yo, you listen to it?" And I was like, "Nah." I was like, "I ain't listening to it." I was like, "I heard about it," and people kind of like, it's like, "Oh, he about to go on a European tour, so it's really meant for them." So I really hadn't listened to it. But when Drake was coming up and he was out for blood, like, dude was it was a no-brainer. So yeah, so Drake for that. Shoot, 4 and 5. Probably say Earth, Wind, and Fire. Earth, Wind, and Fire. I grew up obviously like with my dad. He's from the country, so he's more of an old school music kind of guy. Slash like Run DMC and all that kind of stuff. So I came up with the oldies and goodies with him. So I'd probably say Earth, Wind, and Fire. And then number 5, I would probably say, ooh, that's tough. Boosie. Yeah.
That's good. Hey, that's a main list. I can't argue with that. Yeah. All right, question 4: your favorite food or snack?
My favorite snacks is anything with dessert. I'm a big dessert guy. So any kind of pound cake or cobbler or fudge rounds, like anything that's chocolate, anything like that. That I'm a big sweet guy. I could eat nothing all day, but eating a bunch of junk food, which after a while start catching up to you. So luckily camp coming up, so I'm gonna be outside getting about 20,000 steps all day and sweating and all that kind of stuff. So I'm a big sweet guy. And then obviously soul food, fried chicken and mashed potatoes and collard greens and mac and cheese, cornbread, like, and then my mama's sweet tea. That's unmatched. My mama's sweet tea. So yeah.
Hey, that sounds great to me. So
yeah.
Question 5: what activities you like to partake in when you're not working?
I really kind of be at the house. I really kind of just be chilling. I've done the club scene and the bar scene and all that stuff, so I'll do that every now and again. But now I'm just kind of wanting to come home and just kind of hang out at the house and just have a peace of mind, just having peace and quiet. My fiance asks me every year what I want for my birthday, and I say I just want to come home and have peace and quiet. So sometimes just hearing nothing is the best, or just being able to put Netflix on or Hulu or go on YouTube and put a game on and just not even watching it as a coach, just watching it just as a regular fan. So that's probably what I like to do. I want to get back into reading more. That's something I've said that I was going to do. So I'm pretty determined to kind of start that back up, start reading, just different genres of books. I'm kind of at a point now, obviously gotten older and more mature, and working with the youth of tomorrow and the future, trying to research on our people and where we come from and where we're headed, and trying to install some of those roots in our guys. And I'm a history guy, so anytime I can dispel myths and falsehoods, I'm always trying to do that too. So
hey, that's amazing. Definitely reading is something I'm trying to get back into as well, because now with technology, we don't really pick up a good book nowadays like we used to. Like everything YouTube and all that stuff. But yeah, that's definitely something I would like to get back to. That was good, Coach. All right, question 6: what's your dream vacation?
Dream vacation would probably either be going to Italy or going to Africa. I coached high school ball at Hargrave Military Academy. We had a couple kids over there from Africa, and they always took offense to seeing like commercials and feeding the world type of infomercials and things like that. And they're like, yeah, there is some of that, but it ain't all like that.
No, I tell everybody, Coach.
Exactly.
Like 2 parts. Remember, Coming to America, you got that part with the rich, and you got the little parts like little Haiti and all that might not be as fortunate. So that's what I say. It's every country has its good and bad. So
100%. So yeah. So yep.
No, that's good. That's I like those. The last question is everybody's favorite. If you could have dinner with 5 guests, dead or alive, famous and non-famous, who you gonna have dinner with?
Denzel Washington. Obviously, we covered that, with his movies and his work, but also, just having the opportunity to watch interviews that he's done, shows that he's more than just a simple actor. He's got wisdom and he's got experience. So definitely would love to have a sit down with him. Michael Jackson as well. Not only just for his musical talents, but the fact that he was able to do the investments and buying what he was able to buy, just his business mind. I think people don't really realize how smart that dude was and, how much money he had and what he was able to do with that money. I definitely would love to, have a sit down with him from that perspective. Number 3 would be Malcolm X. I think, obviously when you bring up like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X obviously gets the bad rap in it. But I think that, he is someone I would definitely love to sit down with, just through his transformation, starting out with the passing of his father and everything that he went through and going to jail and, pretty much being like a pimp and then, kind of transitioning from when he first entered the Nation of Islam to kind of how he ended things. So I definitely would love to have to sit down with him as well. Number 4 and 5. I'm a conspiracy guy, so anybody that can help me kind of dispel some conspiracies, that's who I want to sit down with. I got plenty of questions, obviously about like Adolf Hitler and JFK and all of that kind of stuff. Like I got some real. I'm a big conspiracy guy, so anybody that could really help me get those questions answered. So that would probably be 4 and 5. Those would probably be the biggest ones.
Got you. Give me 1 second, Coach, because your mic breaking up. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, you should be good now. Okay, that was 5, Coach.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a 5. I don't want to be cliche and
like Michael Jordan or anybody like that. No, I'm just throwing stuff.
Yeah. Nah, I don't really have anyone outside of that. Yeah.
Okay, no family member, nobody. Like just like I said, like I said, that's why I say non-famous or famous. Don't gotta be all famous people.
Yeah. Nah, not really. Nah.
We'll just say that open. Say that for spot open for somebody.
Yeah.
To pop me in mind. But all right, let's get right into it, man. So tell everybody like how you grew up, where you grew up, and like how was your childhood and all that stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm from the eastern part of the state of Virginia, and that kind of like in that Tidewater, Richmond area, small little town, everybody knows each other type of deal. My middle school teachers growing up, they either went to school with my parents or they taught my parents or my aunties and uncles. My dad's 1 out of 13, so everybody kind of knows the Robinsons. My mom's from DC. She split time between Oxon Hill and then DC, and then her father still lives up there. So me and my sister spent a lot of time up there on visits and things like that. So yeah, man, it wasn't too much of my hometown. It's 2 stoplights, and the biggest national chain restaurant in my hometown is Hardee's. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to drive 25, 30 minutes for everything. The mall's an hour away. So, I had a good childhood, but, didn't play, Pee Wee League football or nothing like that. Really all they had in the town was basketball and baseball at a young age. So that was kind of, my childhood. I got a sister. She lives in Richmond now. She's got a little boy. He's 5 and he's every little bit of football. Like, that's all he know. He already know how to get in the 3-point stance and all of that kind of stuff. So, so sports is big in my family. Went to a small little private high school where I played football and 3 other sports, and then went to West Liberty University in Wheeling, West Virginia, where I was a 2-year starter there at safety.
Okay, all right. So, what made you get into coaching?
So my pop started coaching in our hometown. Like I said, the biggest thing we had was like rec league basketball, and that was like the thing to do. Like they had drafts and tryouts and all of that kind of stuff. So it was a big deal. So I came up around my dad coaching in that rec league, but he also coached high school track, particularly mostly with the girls. So, most little kids, they was, in the spring, they was riding home to school and stuff like that on the bus. My dad was picking me up and he was taking me to track practice. So at a very young age, I was going to state track meets and going to state track practices and things like that with the high school kids. And so, I remember one time I asked my pops, I was like, well, why do you coach? And he was like, you giving back to your community. He was like, and that's just what you do. He was like, it was guys that took time out of their lives to help coach me when I was playing basketball coming up. And he was like, so now I'm doing the same thing. And so that kind of, always kind of sparked me into wanting to get in the coaching, being able to have that impact.
Oh man, that's good, man. So what was your very first coaching job?
So my very first coaching job was my dad's rec league team. I was a freshman in college, maybe a sophomore in college. My dad had to work. And so he was like, here's pretty much what you're going to do. And so unofficially, that was my first job. We ended up winning the game and all of that kind of stuff. And so, I kind of like that feeling, being able to kind of, we ran press the entire game. I don't know if he know that, but we pressed the entire game from the ones all the way to the backups. Everybody pressed. So, I enjoyed having that feeling and things like that. And what was crazy was my uncle also coached on the same team, and their uncle, so my great uncle, coached on the same team. So it was all three of them coaching on the same team. So I enjoyed that. But my first official coaching job was a year after I got out of college. It was back at my high school. I coached the DBs, and I was the co-offense coordinator.
Okay, cool. So how was that? How was that like being an offensive coordinator and coaching the DB? So I know that you got the best of both worlds. So how was that like?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Obviously DBs is what I've known for a very long time, so that part was easy. But in our school, 30 kids on the team, so everybody's going both ways, offensively and defensively. So that was pretty interesting. Because at the time I was kind of really split. It's kind of like my job to put points on the board, along with my head coach, but then also, trying to lock wide receivers up. So it was pretty interesting. I think what helped me was being able to know what's going on both sides of the ball. Obviously, being an OC, all right, this is what defenses are trying to do, and how do I counter that? And then, vice versa, obviously, with the DBs. We were pretty talented, so we ran a lot of cover one and cover three. So that kind of made it easy from that regard. But I enjoyed offense coordinator. Putting up points was that was fun. That was interesting.
Guys, how many points per game did you guys average?
Shoot, I couldn't remember. At this time, spread really still wasn't really a kind of a thing. I'm gonna say maybe 20 plus. At that point, we were pretty good. We were pretty talented. Had a pretty good little quarterback. I just couldn't get him that touch that he needed on the deep balls. We had like 3 receivers that were 6'3" and above, and just couldn't get him that touch for the fade ball. Because I'm like, look, just give him a shot, let him go get it, and they'll do the rest. They'll make you look good, and we could never get it. So, so it could have been more, but yeah.
Hey man, that's good. So all right, after that, so what made you transition to like, all right, now I'm going to strictly be on the defensive side of the ball?
So really, when I coached high school ball, I was both ways. High school staffs, they're not overly big, and then your teams aren't going to be big enough to where you just got set sides. So I was always coaching on both sides of the ball. It wasn't until I decided to be a quality control coach at William and Mary where I was just strictly on defense.
Okay, all right. So like what are you a 4-3 guy, 3-4 guy? You don't gotta get too deep into it. I don't want you to give away no secrets, but I'm just saying, like, we're just your basic philosophy for defensemen.
Aggressive, talk trash, lock you up. No, but for me, the benefit of coaching high school football, you really had to be flexible and you had to be multiple. So, like right now I'm working on 2 different playbooks, just based off of, we recruited, but we don't know what we're going to get until these guys get on the field with our freshmen and things like that. And so, being a high school coach, year in and year out is all right, what we got this year, and then being able to morph it into that. I'm not one of those coaches that's going to try to take a square peg and put it in a round hole. All right, this is what I got. So now we got to adjust to what our players can do. I just found out that it's just simpler when you do that, allowing your guys to be put in the best position based on their skill sets. Some guys right now, they might be a safety right now, but they might end up being like an outside linebacker just because that's what's best for their skill set and that's what we need. And vice versa. Some guys might be a corner, they might get moved to safety. That's just my personal philosophy, is being able to adapt and adjust based on my guys. So, like week 1 of this year, we'll be a 4-down team, and week 2, we're going to be a 3-down team in camp, just to see what our guys can do and how we fit it. So.
Okay, that's pretty good, man. So, like, what do you look for in like positional players? I'm gonna start the DB, since that's especially. What do you look for in the corner? Like when you're recruiting a guy to come play corner for you, what do you look for?
The first thing I always ask is if a kid can play. I've seen and been a part of, certain different situations where, if the kid don't meet the measurable, then it's an automatic swipe, which is fine for their philosophy. My first question is, can he play? And then once he plays, all right, then what's going on after that? So like for a corner, you got to be fluid. You got to be smooth. You got to have good hip, or not good hips. You got good ball skills. You got to be a really good communicator. You can't be quiet. Not playing for me. A quiet defense is a dead defense for me. So you got to be able to do that. Got to be able to make plays on the ball. The offense is only going to give you certain many opportunities to make plays on the ball. So we got to capitalize on those ops. And then for me, a non-negotiable is tackling. I know that, it's a non-negotiable for some people.
You can't tackle. You can't play defense if you can't get nobody on the ground. It don't matter.
Yeah. 100%, especially in today's game where it's so spread out and one missed tackle could be 6. If we were still in like the pro style type of offense or wing T and things like that, then, you could kind of overcompensate for them things, but got to be able to tackle. Again, I play safety, so, I treat my corners like safeties in some regards, and tackling is one of those deals. This past year, we had a couple of guys, they had to kind of find that out the hard way, where it was, they thought they was going to go out there biting ankles and all that stuff, and they learned pretty quickly. So after that, from a corner perspective, we didn't have too many issues in terms of tackling.
All right, so what about the safeties, your deep guys? What boxes they got to check out for you?
Got to be able to cover ground, going from at least at a bare minimum sideline to hash. Same thing. I want my guys to be aggressive, when it comes to tackling. The days of being able to take somebody's helmet off and things like that we could do in our day, you really can't do those things anymore. So those guys got to be able to tackle, and those guys also got to be able to cover. For me, I like to kind of be, flexible in what we do. And so if we got a guy that's strictly like a box safety or, something like that really kind of hinders us. So, I want my guys to be able to cover from a safety perspective. So I end up trying to do a lot of cross training with my guys, safeties and corners. I try to do a lot of cross training. I want those guys to be able to, kind of at a bare minimum, all kind of have the same skill sets.
Yeah, because if you're going all out blitz or going cover zero, them guys gotta be the man up. You gotta be able to come down and play the slot. You gotta be able to play the tight end. You have to cover. They ain't just roam around, just flying around and just teeing off on people. Like you have to use some type of cover, like, you know what I mean? So safety, you a hybrid between a linebacker and a corner. People fail to realize that you're a hybrid. Like you gotta be able to come up and tackle like a linebacker, and you gotta be able to cover.
100%.
Yeah, like, I coach football myself, high school. Usually I tell I'm a defensive coordinator too. I got the same principle as you. You gotta come up and tackle, and you gotta read your keys. And like can't just be one dimensional football. It's just not gonna work.
Yeah.
So what about your line?
Last thing, gotta have good eyes if you're a DB. Bad eyes will get you beat.
All day long because you can't locate the football.
Yep.
So what about your linebacker core? Like what boxes they got to check off?
They got to be elusive, got to be quick twitch. There's going to be times where, those linemen are working their way up to you and you got to be able to get off blocks because we all know, at some point or another, when an offensive lineman get his hands on you, that's pretty much done. You ain't getting off of that. So you got to be able to get off blocks and, we'll teach our guys different techniques to avoid, some guys are, a little bit smaller and a little more elusive. They can bend underneath and things like that. Some guys, they're really good with their hands. I got I got two kids. Them dudes, they're going to take it to the offensive lineman first. They're going to be like, nah, you ain't getting me first. So they'll hit those guys first and then shed off the block. So got to be elusive and same thing, they got to be able to run. Those guys got to be able to run sideline to sideline just with today's game. Still got to be, good tacklers as well and good, really good communicators. They got to also be able to think on the fly. Not every time is a defensive lineman going to be in a spot or the gap that he needs to be. So as I tell them, as a linebacker, you got to be able to make a D lineman right. Just like a safety got to make a linebacker right, linebackers got to be able to make D lineman right. And so, all right, this dude's wrong. All right, let me get to his gap and make sure that we're gap sound.
Yeah, because one misassignment, somebody, like I said, that's the difference between stopping somebody and giving up a first down or a touchdown. Like, shooting the wrong gap, or if you're doing like a shift and somebody don't shift over in time, it's just, so a linebacker, like especially the middle linebacker position, you got to be able to think. Yep. You the quarterback of the defense, you got to make sure everybody's aligned, everybody know their assignment, because if they don't, that's just going to make your job easy. So,
yeah.
Yeah, so what about the defensive line, the big boys up front? What boxes?
What's that?
Your D line. Like what boxes they gotta check off for you to be able to play on your D line?
Yeah, I want those guys to be explosive, explosive off the ball. And same thing, got to be able to be good with their hands. Obviously being a DB guy, I'm not as familiar with what's going on up front, but as I've started to learn and kind of go through my career, I know that being able to get off the ball that's half the battle right there. And then after that, being able to have that hand placement, getting their hands on the offensive lineman first, and then kind of being able to have some power either to string it along or, to overpower that guy and kind of push him upfield and kind of, make a little wall. Those are going to be the best things for the interior guys. And then, for my defensive ends, I want guys that are, they got good bend, they're elusive, and go get the quarterback. That's just me personally. I want my DNs to be cut loose and want them to have to worry about one thing, which is going to go get the quarterback.
Yeah, like D lineman, I think D lineman nowadays are more athletes. They ain't just the big fat 400 pounds. You look at Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Looks like a fullback, and he out there getting 20 seconds a game. Then like they specimens now. Like I had Grambling, I don't know if you saw it, Grambling offensive line coach on yesterday. He said, Coach, man, we got we got to block them guys, the Miles Garrett's and the TJ Fox. These guys is running 4-3s, 4-4s, coming off the edge. Now, you kick him back an old lineman, and this guy, 260 pounds, all muscle, running 4-4. He come up field full speed like those, like Khalil Max, Joey Boy, like them guys. Like he said, we gotta block them guys, coach.
Yeah.
So let's explain to people like they might not be as football savvy as me and you and other coaches. Like, why is it important to have a dominant pass rush? Explain that to them.
Yeah, having a good pass rush, it makes life easier on the back end. Obviously there's, thought processes with, if you got good DBs, it'll help the D line and, all that kind of stuff. And I used to think like that, but now I'm more of everything starts up front, with the offense and defensive line. So when you got defensive linemen or, defensive ends that, can wreak havoc on the quarterback, that's what you want. That's what you got to have. Whether it's an experienced quarterback, there's been a couple games where teams been getting after Tom Brady and as he's someone that's seen it all. And, quarterbacks don't like getting hit, because now they start seeing ghosts. Is my protection really there, or do I really, do I got to get rid of this thing quicker than what I want to? And sometimes it's not always just even hitting the quarterback. Sometimes it's just being able to make him feel you and make him get off of his pocket or his landmarks. I tell my guys, offense is all about timing and rhythm. Offensive linemen hear a play. If they know that it's quick, they're expecting the ball to come out quick. And if that ball ain't coming out quick, then somebody in the back end messed up. All right. Quarterbacks are expecting receivers to be at certain places at certain times. Receivers are expecting the ball to be somewhere at certain times. All right. But if the quarterback is having to think an extra second longer, or he's got to get rid of it quicker, go down, that disrupts the timing. You know what I'm saying? So again, not all the time is it having to hit the quarterback. Sometimes it's just making them feel you. Sometimes it's, making that kid go to his left if he really can't throw while he's running to his left. Some guys are better stepping up in the pocket, making throws. Some guys are better out into the flats, and so
like
you got
roll out like the Kyler Murrays and Lamar's
Yep.
of the world.
Yep.
And that's my next question. Like, how is it going against a dual threat quarterback as a D coordinator? And I know they're probably like, oh man, I got to make sure he don't take off, and I got to make sure he don't pass. Like, how is that game planning for a specimen like that at quarterback?
Yeah, it's tough, because I couldn't imagine having a game plan for Lamar Jackson. Obviously there's going to have to be some times where it's just like your thought process is like, this dude he's going to make plays. He's just going to make plays, and you got to live with that. And, some coordinators out there or coaches out there, they want to stop everything. In today's world, it just ain't realistic. It just ain't realistic. So, being able to find some weaknesses and, being able to get after quarterbacks, also, trying to understand, all right, you got a dual threat quarterback, but is he really a better runner or is he a better thrower? There's some guys that I'm going to make you throw this ball to beat me. And if you do, then you do. And then there's some guys that's, they're dual threat, but they're really looking to throw first and run second.
Just using their mobility to buy time. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, those are the kind of the cat and mouse games that you got to be able to do, when you're game planning for dual threat quarterbacks. That's what I look for. All right. Is he a runner, or is he running a run, or is he running a throw to buy time? All right. He's a pocket passer, all right. Or is he really someone that really can't throw?
Gotcha. Like, explain to the importance now of like linebackers having to be able to cover in space. Because now, like you said, teams going to spread and all that. And then the tight ends are basically big body receivers. They're not the chubby guys that just an extra lineman that catch a 3-yard pass. These guys like Kelsey's and all them in the world that can get up in them saying. So explain the importance of having linebackers that can run. Like the guys like Devin White, Devin Bush, Patrick Quinn, all those guys that can just Dion Jones of the world, them guys that can just cover.
Yeah, obviously it helps, with what you're trying to do schematically. When you talk about the Travis Kelce's of the world, those guys they're mismatches. They're typically those guys are 6'4",
power forwards playing football.
Yeah. Typically those guys are 6'4" plus. 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". Well, generally speaking, that's probably going to be too big for a safety. Or depending on your safety,
5, 6, 6 safety, right?
Yeah, not everybody gonna have a Kyle Harrison.
You might got 10 of them out the entire NFL.
Yeah. Last time I checked, like average like DB height was like 6 foot. 5'11", 6 foot, 6'1", whatever it may be. So that's a tough matchup against a dude that's 6'5", 6'6". But then also them dudes, they weigh 240, 250, 260, like those are mismatched problems. So anytime that you can have a linebacker that got a little more thickness to him, but he can also run and kind of be physical with those guys, and can run with those guys, that allows your safeties to be, having to focus on a running back or a quarterback, just spot a quarterback or whatever it may be. So being able to have those guys, that's a true blessing. I don't know if I got that right now, so I can't tell you how I feel. But maybe someday I'll be able to be like, yeah, hey, it's real nice being able to have a kid like that.
What are some defensive coaches that you admire and that you like looked up to? It can be college level, high school level, pro level. It don't matter.
Yeah, Charlie Strong. I was coaching high school ball, and I was going to the Nike clinics and things like that. And I would go to, maybe one or two, and where I was at, obviously being in Virginia, going to the one in DC was always cool, and going to the one in Charlotte was always cool, and things like that. But I remember one time, it was David Shaw and Charlie Strong out at a Nike coaching clinic in Oklahoma, and I was like, I'm going. I was like, having an opportunity just to meet Charlie Strong and David Shaw, I was like, that was something that I couldn't pass up. And so, being able to meet those guys was great advice and things like that. So I've always admired Charlie Strong, even back when he was a DC at Florida. Those defenses were just absolute filth. I'm talking about absolute filth. You're talking about Ahmad Black and Major Wright and all of those guys. Like, them dudes.
And Carlos.
Yeah, man. Them dudes was killers out there. They was killers out there. So Charlie Strong is I'm a big fan of his. Wherever he goes. As I said, David Shaw, obviously a big fan of his. I'm a big Jim Harbaugh fan. I'm a Michigan fan, so I'm a big Jim Harbaugh fan in terms of what he's been able to do. I love what Don Brown does, defensively. He's someone that, I've really enjoyed watching. And then, very much like Rod, stepping outside of football, John Thompson, old John Thompson, watching what he was able to do. Phil Cheney, that was at Temple, watching those guys and what they were able to do, literally doing more with a whole lot less. And battling all the big boys, those are guys that, I've really admired as a coach.
So what about Nick Saban? He's a defensive guru himself.
Yeah. When you talk about Nick Saban and Belichick, yeah, those guys, I mean, shoot, man, the list can go on. I'm always, just mesmerized with what they're able to do schematically and things like that. You throw in Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart's a heck of a defensive guy as well.
Look what you did at Georgia, man. Them guys, man. Woo.
Yeah. Them kids play, man. Them dudes play, what they able to do. Now, obviously, the recruiting piece comes into it. It's all about the Deons and the Davons, it's all about who you got out on the football field too. But because those guys can make up for a lot of mistakes and things like that. But yeah, Belichick and Saban, Kirby Smart, those are some good dudes.
Got you, man. So just give me I know you just give me some defenses that you just like of all time. Man, what is your favorite defenses to watch? It could be like the 2000 Ravens, 2006 Bears, Kane. So just give me your favorite defenses that you just every time you look at film, like, man, this is what I'm trying to build.
Yeah. So I actually put it on Twitter like last week, what was like your favorite like collective DB unit?
I saw that.
Yeah. That Texas team, man, they were just so good.
Oh, the 2005 team?
Yeah. Michael Huff and Michael Griffin. They were just so good. Aaron Ross was out there. They were just so good. I
think Derrick Johnson stood up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, like they were loaded, man. It was ridiculous. And then you got that 2011 LSU team. Ridiculous, just ridiculous with that. Obviously, everybody talks about the Hurricanes back in the 2000s.
I was ready to say, don't forget about that old one.
Yeah, Kane.
DJ Williams, Wes Wolford, Kevin Williams. I go on and on.
Yeah, man. They had that thing rolling. Antero Roll and Philip Buchanan,
Mike Rump,
yeah, man. They had that thing rolling back in the day. And then obviously Alabama. I think it was like
you could
pick any one of them. Yeah, you could pick any one.
10 with what's the name in on the Moses Hightower. You got 13. and they got so many you can pick from. So yeah.
Yeah. The 1 year where like the defense was scoring like more points than like most people offenses was like ridiculous. That I think they had Minka Fitzpatrick that year.
2000, I think that was 2017. Yeah.
Yeah, that year, man, you watch them dudes all day. And then, like I said, being a Michigan fan, watching the Michigan, under Don Brown was always good. And then surprisingly, those Iowa defenses, like here lately, Iowa and Wisconsin, they usually have really good defenses. So I enjoy watching those guys as well.
Gotcha. Yeah. Hey, that's definitely some good ones right there. Just like what DBs you currently like in the NFL right now? Just give me your top 10 corners right now.
Patrick Surtain. He's no.
You got him at one?
But he's gonna be my number one. Yeah.
Ramsey? Okay.
Yeah. It depends on what day you catch me.
Okay.
I'll put it to you like this: Ramsey is number one now, but Surtain's gonna take it. Surtain's the next great one in the league.
You got two up there, and who else?
Tre'Davious White.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Tre'Davious White is underrated.
Yes, sir.
Xavier Howard.
Oh, another one.
Yeah. Depending on who you are, I'm a Cowboy fan too. So depending on who you are, some people might think he trash. I think, his skill set is, very high risk, high reward with, Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, he had 11 picks, so you gotta put him up there. Everybody don't get 11 picks.
Yeah, people.
I'm a Raven fan, so I hope you say this guy next on this list. So
Marlon Humphrey gonna be on there for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, Marlon Humphrey gonna be on there for sure. Marlon Humphrey's gonna be on there. The thing with Trayvon Diggs is, people talk about all the yards he gave up and all that stuff, but he didn't give up but like 5 touchdowns or something like that. And at the end of the day,
something crazy like that,
at the end of the day, it's all about, you're gonna give up yards, especially with his style of play, but how many TDs you giving up? So, he wasn't giving up too many of those. The Alexander boy from Green Bay.
Yeah.
He's filth. He's filth. That dude is strapped.
So that's 7, I think, right there. That's 7.
Yeah. Shoot, I don't know if I got any more, honestly. Corners.
No Gilmores of the world like that. Stephon Gilmore.
I'd be interested to see how he does. I'd be interested to see he down there with Carolina or the Colts.
He went to Indianapolis now. He's with Carolina.
Yeah, he went to Indianapolis. Yeah, I'd be interested to see. Obviously, if I'm not mistaken, he was hurt or he was coming late off an injury or something like that last year. So, really can't include him like you want to. But when he's healthy, he's one of the best. He's one of the best.
What about is J.C. Jackson in there?
Not as much of a fan.
Okay. Well, I know. And then what about Byron Jones? Like I said, you're a Cowboy fan. I know you got to give him his credit.
Yeah. Byron Jones is pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty good. I don't get to watch him as much as I would like to now that he's down in Miami and things like that. But my head coach did an internship down there like a month or two ago, and he was like, "Dude's just freaky." He was like, "He's just freaky athletic." Stuff that at his height, and he was like, he just shouldn't be doing the stuff that he do. But
I'll give you my top 10. I go Ramsey. I go Jair Alexander, Marlon Humphrey, Tre'Davious White, Marshawn Lattimore, Saints.
Yeah.
We can go J.C. Jackson, Stephon Gilmore, Trayvon Diggs, your guy. We can go Marcus Peters. Most of the leagues is, number 10. This is tricky. I'm gonna go Patrick Surtain Jr.
Yeah.
So this is our last subject. So give me your thoughts on NIL. Just give me what you think the pros and cons can be for it.
Yeah. The cons is there's no cap on it, so is really like the wild, wild west. And, I see people talking on Twitter and Facebook and everything like that. And it's kind of like, you love the fact that we live in a open and free market as a country. We're living in a capitalistic society, but then you don't want these kids to go make their money. What is it? Is it the fact that they're 18? Shoot, now I know I think Texas is allowing at the high school level. So is it now that you got, high school kids and kids that's 18, 19, 20 making more money than you? Personally, is that the problem? You don't like seeing these young kids having this kind of money, which is it's an oxymoron. You can't like being in a capitalistic society and then wanting to limit these kids on how much money they can make. So personally, I'm a fan of it. Like I said, I think there's got to be a cap which I believe will come at some point. But in terms of the haves and the haves not was already there.
It's just now it's now you can do it without getting sanctioned.
Yeah. A school like Toledo, a school like Toledo could never match up with a school like SMU. When it came to
like that,
those schools, there was always that fine line of the haves and the have-not. Now I think some more of the have-nots have been able to kind of catch up with some of the haves. I always look at a school like SMU. SMU's in Dallas. Dallas is one of the richest cities in one of the richest states in the country. And so now a school like that, they're like, shoot, we game on now. Like, we got the bread to spend. We can do it. We can go match Alabama or LSU, things like that. Those bigger schools, they always got the boosters that got money. But, we all know, like, some pockets is deeper than others. And that Texas oil money and, that Texas investment money and finance money is deeper than some of the SEC school money. Like, it just is what it is. So personally, like I said, I'm a fan of it. Like I said, I think that there needs to be a cap at some point. But again, the haves and the have-nots was already there, whether it was facilities or things like that, things along those lines. It was already there. Now it's just now you can just pay people. So
yeah, definitely. So like you said, because Texas A&M, like I know Nick Saban said, like, man, these guys getting paid now. I said, bro, Tua came from Hawaii to come play for Alabama. He ain't just off the strength of just the kindness of his heart. So
yeah, I think you're banking on winning games and championships, which Alabama can do. They can do that. But not everybody kind of got that luxury. Not everybody got that luxury. So, I think it evens the playing field. And shoot, some of the haves now they're starting to fall down because they don't have the pockets like everybody else.
You're right, Coach, man. Definitely, man. This was fun, man. I'm glad you took time to chop it up with me, man. So, like I said, I would love to have you on again during the football season. We can, just talk about the game and stuff like that. But just tell everybody a little bit about Bluefield University, and just give a message to the kids that might not have all the grades to go toward D1 or quote unquote Power 5, and why they should come check out a Bluefield State or Wheeling University, those colleges that might not get the pub as everybody else.
Yeah, I think Bluefield State we're a D2 HBCU here in West Virginia. We're going into our second year as a football program. Our head coach is Tony Coxum. What we got going on is we got a great staff. I'm 33 years old and I'm the third oldest on the staff. My head coach is 45. So, we got a lot of, life lessons and experiences that we can share with our young men. For the parents, you're going to be able to send your son to us and feel comfortable with it. We're, like I said, we're still, in the baby phases of what we're trying to do, but we really got a really good thing going on here with the staff and our head coach. And when your school president is in love with football, not as much as basketball, but he's in love with football, then you really got, that's what you want, having the administration on your side. And so, yeah, in terms of guys that are coming out, the transfer portal and JUCOs, what the young kids need to understand is that for a lot of coaches, they are in a very much of a win now type of mode. So they don't necessarily have time to kind of wait on the freshman to get it together unless that freshman is ready to go right now. And so I know, and it happened when I came through with, guys that are, chasing the logos, things like that. And I'm a big proponent of, like, especially like with the camps, like go to a big camp to see how you match up. Like, don't let the pictures and tour fool you.
You're not the only 5-star. It's 500 or 1,000 kids just as good or better.
Yeah, and shoot, some kids, they don't even realize, because I've seen it and talking to other coaches, like the prospect camps, like, yeah, they might got different colored shirts on or whatever because of your year, but you in the indoor facility doing drills and stuff like that. But the high level guys, the guys that they want to offer or already offered, they outside on another field. They out there getting the real work in. So for upcoming guys, got to take care of your grades first and foremost. If you ain't got the grades, then we ain't got nothing to talk about.
I love that.
So, yeah, but in my eyes, and I got this from one of my mentors, Antonio King. He was running backs coach at North Carolina Central. Now he's coaching high school ball back down in the Raleigh area. He said every kid got to go to a big school camp. Every kid got to go to a D2 camp. Every kid got to go to a D3 camp, because that right there will tell you, all right, I can play with these kids, or this kid is 6'2" and 230 and can do everything I do at 5'11" and 240. That's where you kind of get your gauges, all right, on what levels that you can play at. And be open to everything. Be open to every offer that comes your way, because you won torn ACL away, or you won firing away, or you won hiring away. I know I was at a D3 school in Pennsylvania, and kids was blowing me off, and then I get to a D2 school. Hey, coach, what's going on? Boom, boom. Like, yeah, I ain't forget that stuff. You blew me off not but 3 weeks ago. So every coach that entertains you, either, hey, coach, I'm just not interested at this particular moment, or entertainment. You'll never know.
I agree, man. So thanks again, Coach Robinson, man. So before you get off, I gotta ask for a small favor. I'm trying to get your offensive coordinator over here. So you think you can make that happen for me?
Coach AR or Coach Austin?
Whoever, whichever one. I mean, y'all got 2 OCs?
My co-OC is Coach Austin.
Matter of fact, let's get them both. Let's get them both. I can even get them together. Yeah. One at a time. It don't matter. I want the both of them.
Yeah, we can get Coach Austin for sure. I'll call him right after this, and then my Coach AR. Yeah, shoot. I talked to him earlier today. He was like, "All right, dude, I'm probably getting ready to hit the beach real quick." He from California, so he trying to get his tan and all that other kind of stuff. But I'll hit them dudes up, and we can make it happen, no question.
Definitely appreciate that, Coach. You want to say anything to the people before you get off?
No, man, just, season's coming around. So, for anyone that's getting ready to go into playing football, just make sure that you hydrating, make sure that you getting in shape, all of those kind of things. Be coachable, be willing to play any spot that's needed for you. The best way to get on the field is being able to play multiple positions. Take care of your grades, whether you're in college or in high school or middle school. We lost some kids this year to grades that, they were probably going to be starters, so that's just the name of the game. Realize that college football is a business, and, hey, keep your eyes on Big Blue this year. We feel like we got some really good things cooking this year. So, definitely keep your eyes on us and hit us up.
Thanks again, Coach Robinson, man. Everybody, that's it for episode 186. Y'all can check this out on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff like that. Well, everyone, be great on your way to the figure eight, and always remember the hashtag KTSC. Keep that same energy from your host, Justin P., and my special guest of Bluefield State defensive coordinator, Coach Lawrence Robinson. Guys, enjoy your Friday. Have a safe weekend. I love you guys, and I'll be back Monday.